Good afternoon and welcome to KCAA Radio. My name is Dan Reddig here on the Real Men of Real Estate, and you can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, or 1050 AM. Today, I've got my guest Jared Kelly with me. He's been a mortgage broker for some time now, but takes a very creative approach to using mortgage tools and investing in real estate. So I'm super excited to talk to Jared about what you've been seeing in the market, how you're taking advantage of the changes, and what's going on. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, Mr. Creative, that's the first time I've gotten that one. Normally people call me the VA wizard. Uh,
You are known for the VA loans.
yeah, the VA loans. If people don't know that, it is a primary residence loan, but it can be used for investing as well. So,
You sure can,
uh,
yeah.
huge opportunity to use that with zero money down. So if you don't have a VA loan, head down to the recruiter's office. Great way to get that loan. Just join the military. 90 days of active duty during wartime, and as long as you're not dishonorably discharged, you got the VA loan, baby. So yes, I've been in the real estate industry for the last 17 years in Southern California. Enjoy real estate. At one point, had a real estate company, sold it, and tried to get out of real estate, and it pulled me back in.
Oh
So
no, what happened there?
yeah, well, just you got the phone call of, hey, I thought I was going to take a year off or 6 months off after selling the
Uh-huh.
company, and got the phone call. Hey, want to help you? Can we join our team and help us grow? The West Coast, and
Okay.
I like a good adventure, so got back in the game, right? So
Couldn't
it's
say no. I get it. I get it.
couldn't say no. So worn all the hats, commercial real estate, flipped about a little over 100 houses in Southern
Oh
California.
wow. I didn't know that.
Uh,
Wow.
to having a pretty big sized team to on the real estate side, to sell the company, to join the lending side at a pretty high level, and today originating a slew of loans, takeout loans, all type of different loans, and doing some infill project and development. So uh, I think from a market standpoint, the reason I'm in the position I am today and not just sitting at the conference room table talking about how things are going to get done and never actually doing them. So I wanted to be at ground zero. I think now is
Okay.
the time, is the pivotal time that we're going to look back on and say this was a very um, this was a revolution that happen in real estate. When we see things like ADUs, when we see the infill that's happening in a lot of the metro areas. I live in San Diego, so San Diego specific, but certainly it's seen in LA, San Bernardino County, all of Orange County, all of Southern California. We're going to look back on this and say, man, I wish I would have got into that game. It's going to be a game that is going to pay dividends to my kids. So I'm doing everything I can to educate and then to empower people to live their best lives. I think that's important, but also to set the stage for the future. So Dan, that's me in a nutshell.
That's a
Uh,
nutshell. Yeah. Wow. It's fascinating. I didn't realize you used to flip homes. So I learned something about you today. That's pretty great.
yeah,
So before you got into the mortgage industry, what were you working on immediately before?
yeah. So I own a company called Mission Realty Group. We
Okay.
had about 1% market share of San Diego. We actually housed four different flip companies in that
Wow.
in that company. So some of the big ones that exist still today: REIG, Blue Wave.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Used to be, you know, some other companies that have split and become different ones. Than myself, Sorensen Ventures, and yeah. So from '09 to about 2014, we were very active, and then that kind of spilled over into um, us helping doing a lot of disposition for those other flip companies, to me selling that company in 2017 and switching to the lending hat.
Gotcha. All right. Wow. Well, that's a pretty recent transition.
Yeah.
So did 2018 give you any shivers when that kind of everything started to flatline a little there?
Yeah, but again, when you look at the empirical data,
Uh-huh.
the real data. 2018 uh, was just setting the stage for something that COVID really delayed. When what kind of went down 2019, I think that we just delayed what's happening right now,
I
and
see. Yeah.
and unfortunately added fuel to the fire with
Yeah.
printing trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I think we are in a very interesting time. I think if you are making a plan and looking at it as a long-term investment, there is a ton of opportunity on the horizon.
It's starting to feel like at least the change is coming. So, I mean,
The change is here. Um, and my biggest struggle with this is, someone told me a couple days ago, actually, at a group that we're both a part of, SDCIA,
yeah,
uh, San Diego Creative Investment Association, um, that the definition of a recession has changed. And
I don't know about
that
that.
makes me think back. I mean, it used to be two two quarters in a row that the GDP had decreased.
Right.
Um, and to me, it really says one quarter in a row. One quarter of negative GDP should mean a recession. That's seems to make sense. But two quarters in a row, I guess, counts as a trend. And now there's like three other things that are tagged onto that. So jobs has to be at a certain number and some things, which does make sense. But it also feels like it's a fiscal, it's fiscally irresponsible to just start making new policy when we're already in a recession to say, oh, let's change the
Yeah.
definition of
Yeah,
what
it's
that
not a
is.
recession yet because we made up something new.
Correct.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great.
And people can say, it is what it is, but I'll share an example of the market. If you've ever heard of a little town in the Midwest, one of the flyover states called Elkhart, Indiana.
I haven't.
Uh, it is, you can go Google this, Elkhart, Indiana president visit. It's where every president, I mean, Barack, Trump, I think even Bush and Clinton had a visit. Obama, sorry, had a visit
Uh-huh.
to Elkhart, Indiana, is where a luxury or a discretionary product is made. So every RV and boat that's made in the United States and
Hmm.
much of the world is based out of Elkhart, Indiana. So
No kidding.
Winnebago, Thor, Forest River. So they're all producing a product to send to dealers, but also the cabinets are made there. The
Okay.
axles are made there. So it creates an environment where people have tried to go build these things in other places, but it doesn't make sense because all the,
Just
not the raw material, but all the materials that need to be assembled to make those products are all
are
built.
already there, right? Yeah, it doesn't
So
make, yeah.
it can be built very inexpensively, which means you got discretionary spending in production in manufacturing. It really tends to be the forecast of what jobs are doing. So a year and a half ago, when I visited, my family's from there, uh, the fast food restaurants have literally closed their
Whoa.
inside dining. So you could only go through a drive-through.
Okay.
Couldn't employ people, negative unemployment. So literally could not fulfill jobs, and people were, moving to go work in the factories piecemeal, making 120 to $150,000 a year.
Holy
To,
cow.
to to today, where now the farmers in the area aren't putting in crops this year. They're leasing their
Whoa.
land to the RV companies to store RVs and boats, partly because they can't be delivered with the trucking issue.
Okay.
So now as that's caught up, let's just say uh, the sales, the marinas and people that are selling boats and RVs had three purchase orders in for each for 50 boats, right? So 150 boats they had on order. Those are all built now.
Uh-huh.
They got delivery of their first 50 and they only sold 20 of them
Oh man.
because the winds are starting to turn a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where those other 100 are just sitting in fields because those orders got
That,
canceled.
yeah, that's not going to make anybody any money. Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
So what
telling.
happens to employment? Those factories that were running 6 days a week, 3 shifts, are now running single shift 3 days a week. Those people are making $40,000 a year now.
Oh man.
So it is the precursor, and it always has been. Look up Elkhart, Indiana. It has been the precursor to recessions and to booms. It's a boom or bust city. And I think it will continue to be true. So um, I think that when things like this happen, I tend to jump on the Warren Buffett train
Hmm.
of be greedy when others are fearful, and feel fearful when others are greedy. And we are going to be in the land of opportunity if you make a plan.
I gotcha. Wow. Well, we'll have to talk a little bit more about what that plan looks like. We'll be taking a commercial break in a minute, but before we go, what are the data sources you're using for your general view on the market?
Yeah, so great question. One are my eyes and ears. And here's why. So just super quick, uh, jobs reports that come out. I look at GDP, I look at jobs, but even those reports that are coming out, there's an institutional report that comes out, and then there's consumer surveys that happen. Over the last 3 months, jobs report, one plus or minus standard deviation 190,000 jobs, crazy, but
That's
off by
huge.
1.5 million jobs. So
Wow.
let's dig into that a little
Well,
bit more.
we'll
And
have
I,
to talk more about when we come back here. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Real Men of Real Estate. But thanks so much, Jared. That's a great start to the conversation.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career
because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically go to the radio station kcaaradio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
All right, welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate here on KCAA Radio. You can find us in a couple places on your dial at 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM. I'm here with Jared Kelly talking about kind of the state of the market and what we would like to do about it. So we were talking about those job reports. We had a huge swing in that, right? 190,000 job shift month to month.
190,000 jobs of standard deviation on a report that
Wow.
I think it was like 100 or 390, 400, somewhere close to there. So, plus or minus half what the job creation was. And that was the institutional report that came out. So the piece that gets me is when they do consumer surveys and actually call households.
Okay.
The difference from March, so March, April, May, that's the jobs were in May, reported in June. The difference between those 3 months, the graph between household and institutional, the difference was 1.5 million jobs less in household surveys versus the job reports coming out. So I'm not saying that censorship, is that a okay word you can use? I don't know. That's all kind of, right? Yeah.
Everybody's getting sensitive. It'll be all right.
But I think it's very important to track data, to understand the media exists to make money. Shows like this and the things that Dan is doing is so important to say, like, what's raw and what's real and what's happening now, what's happening today. Like even the jobs report's 30 days old.
Yeah.
It is a world where macroly and microly, those things are drastically different. When we go back and look at year over year appreciation in real estate of 2022, it is no way 5 years from now, when we go back and look at that, or someone looks at that data and pulls it up, it's not going to tell the story of 2022 at all, right? And I think that's really important to understand, because year to date, we're at, like, depending on what data source you use, call it 9 to 12% appreciation year to date.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet that we're going to give up a lot of that second, or third, and fourth quarter this year.
I'm seeing it already in the houses I'm trying to put offers on. It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to give up that number, but I don't think it's going to be negative. But it's certainly not going to end the year that. So if you were to go back and macroly look at that data, 2022, you just had 1% appreciation. Well, if you ask the people that bought in the beginning of the year and the end of the year, two completely different avenues of purchase and outlook on why they were buying or what that looks like. I just think it's really important right now, when you're making decisions or you're looking at real estate or any investment, that you need to understand the time that you plan to be in that investment and the reason why you're in that investment. What's your exit strategy?
Absolutely.
If it's just to feel good, throw whatever money, like that's like getting a bar tab or buying a good whiskey, right?
Just head to Vegas and have some fun with it, something.
Yeah, if that's why you want to buy a piece of real estate, waste your hundreds of thousands however you want. And in my opinion, though, that's not the game to be played with real estate. The first exit strategy for most people should be, can I live there? Even if you're buying it as an investment property, what if you could live there in the future? That's a pretty good exit, because unlike other things that you can buy as an investment, it would take an awful lot of savings behind paper or treasuries to stack up to build a house. Right? It's really hard to live in a bunch of savings bonds.
Yeah, very hard.
Or your stock certificates, right? When you have an investment that also serves as something else, I think that there's an incredible value to that. So that's kind of exit strategy number one. And exit strategy number two could be renting it out long term, could be selling the property for an investment. So I think it is important to understand more now than ever the micro environment in which you're buying in. What are the GDPs of the area?
Right.
How are jobs being created in those areas? Because in my opinion, I want to have multiple exit strategies that work for any real estate investment that I'm purchasing.
I hear you loud and clear. So for folks who are buying maybe their second, third, or even fourth property, they've done a couple now. They can't live in it. What are a couple more of the exit strategies and things that you can do if you need to try and improve your revenues?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is going to be more true across the rest of the United States. So generally, when you look at coastal areas that you're purchasing, You're not purchasing for cash flow, you're purchasing for appreciation. And it's crucial to understand time in that, because you're really running an IRR, internal rate of return, on that investment versus a realized rate of return, which would be a monthly check in the mailbox. There's nothing wrong with that. It's mailbox money. But if you look at that investment over time, even a 5-year period, I've never found something that beats appreciation. And I'll go back to the VA loan just because I love that. You put $0 in and you get appreciation on that $1 million investment. That's amazing. Even if you put $200,000 in, $250,000 in on that investment, you don't get the appreciation on the 250. You get the appreciation on $1 million.
Yeah.
And
well, and there's no limit on the VA loan, right? So if you can find a way to get into an $8 million fourplex, a couple other people help you pay the mortgage, and
incredible. But again, going back to the data of that and understanding it, and understand it microly, because buying right will solve a lot of problems. But over the last 63 years, this is the time that the data has been collected on. I'll use San Diego County for an example. The average appreciation, annual appreciation over the last 63 years, this includes the crash, this includes the 80s, this includes everything, 5.26%.
Okay, that's actually a little better than I thought it would be.
Annual appreciation over the next 5 years. This is still forecasting out. This is through a site called MBS Highway. Barry Habib is the main economist inside of this. Projection of over 30% appreciation over the next 5 years.
With all the stuff moving to the West Coast and people needing a place, I mean, it makes sense.
And so to answer your question, what are those other exit strategies? I bring that up to say appreciation has to be part of that.
Yeah.
But to gain other appreciation, you can actually create APN numbers. You can split lots pretty effectively now.
Yeah.
Incredible opportunity, because you're essentially creating more buildable land, right? Adding ADUs, renting by room. We've now become this gig or not this corporate environment. We're seeing a lot more travel nurses, a lot more people working remotely that want to live somewhere for a year and rent a room and are willing to pay appropriately for that. I'm not even going to say overpay.
Yeah, they want
$2,500.
They want to, they'll pay for the flexibility to have an experience and try something.
100%. And why not? I mean, if I'm a 22-year-old today that has a decent job, why not do that? So my philosophy, and I own a property management company now too, because we had to. You
amassed too many properties.
Yeah, we had some properties and we work with a lot of military who are traveling all over. And you would think, as someone that's in real estate, I can even get commission from doing real estate. Someone like you too, would say, "Hey, sell these properties," and I was like, "No, like keep these things, especially in Southern California, because we haven't even seen the hockey stick yet." Other cities like Boston and a lot of that kind of DC area and East Coast have seen San Francisco on the West Coast.
Yeah, the run-ups happened already. Yeah,
seen the run-up. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, no, San Diego is still the biggest little city on the coast.
100%. Orange County maybe saw it a little bit, and it'll be a flatter. But I think Orange is even going to see it too. LA will serve its purpose and be in the armpit. Sorry, I said that loud. But I think even San Bernardino and Riverside are going to see some upsides.
They're going to shoot up, yeah.
Maybe not as much as San Diego County. I think San Diego is going to be the real winner in this. But you're certainly going to be able to hit a stand-up double. Using the baseball analogy, maybe you're a Dodger and maybe you're a Padres fan. We don't really know, but you're going to be able to hit a stand-up double in real estate in Southern California. I think as a plan as even as short as 5 years. So I think it's hard to think longer than that. Again, Dan, we're talking about making a plan. It's pretty difficult for people to look past 5 years of their life.
It gets fuzzy for me after 3.
Yeah, when you're making that plan, a lot of people try to make a plan as a snippet in time,
Right.
versus an average over that time. So that means my encouragement or my thought process, and we even have an intake form that we do with our clients to sit down and be more of an advisor and say, let's look at making that plan and those exit strategies that'll work as a median or an average of that period of time that you want to own that real estate. So definitely crucial. I think the big takeaways are understand that macro numbers do matter and trends do matter. But from a micro standpoint, is buying right, understanding micro GDPs, understanding micro environments that exist within cities is very, very crucial to look at as we're shifting into that, into a recession and into a period where people are going to be losing jobs, but people are also going to be gaining jobs in those higher management levels and things like biotech.
Got it. Well, when we come back, we can talk more about the plan and see what that work looks like for people. So I'm Dan Reddig talking with Jared Kelly about the current market and what to do about it. So thanks for listening to The Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career
because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about, so join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station, KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio. You can find us on your dial three places at 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM. So Jared and I have been talking about kind of what's going on here and how this is a huge turning point in the market, especially for San Diego. We don't know where it's going to end up other than it's going to go up is what we think. And so you got to have a plan. Anytime you're getting into something like this, it sounds good. You got to know why you're doing it, how you're doing it. So how do you advise people to get started with their plan, Jared?
Absolutely. So where we left off, and if you're just joining us, I think the most important thing of the plan is to not look at it in a vacuum or a snippet of time. I think people make the mistake all the time, or even going to a lender, and a lender unfortunately make the mistake of saying, this is what you're pre-approved for, or this is what your income is. Well, that's kind of rubbish to me if you know there's a lifestyle event or something, a life change that's going to be happening very soon. If someone were to come to me like, hey, we're dual income, but we're also 7 months pregnant,
That's a
I
huge
think there's
change.
going to be
Wow.
some change happening. Um,
And not just diapers, right?
yeah, and not just poopy diapers, right? Uh, and so I think I mean, may seem like an extreme example, but what if the flip side? What if it's I'm engaged and I'm getting married,
Mhm.
and someone's just going to advise you on buying a house as if you're single? Like that's just inappropriate to do.
Right. Or you could have a big inheritance coming, or
Yeah,
taking a job across the country, anything.
or I think just even order of operations too. If a single person, we'll go back to the VA because I love the example of investing. If a single active duty person comes to me, 24 years old, and didn't buy the big truck, didn't buy the motorcycle, has no debt, and says, I've had some calls and I'm at E5 at this point, even on the listed side. I'm going to tell that person order of operations is you buy the investment property first. You don't buy the granite countertops and
Right.
the shaker cabinets and
Right.
the hard floors. You buy that fourplex and you let other people pay your bills.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's missed a lot if you don't have the conversation or there isn't someone there to lead that conversation. Because if you ask me today how to do something I don't know how to do, why would I not just take the easiest way on how to do that?
Right.
And I think too often realtors and our lenders don't know how to have that conversation appropriately. The media sure as hell doesn't.
Oh gosh, no. Their motives are completely different.
No clue how to do it. But I think it's appropriate to have someone that you trust that is going to lead that conversation. And Dan, you certainly have a following and a ton of people that are looking at you, and even you doing it yourself. You doing it yourself, right? And I think that's I'm at ground zero. That's why I'm not sitting at the boardroom table in the C-level suite, because I think right now is a land of opportunity. And one of the big things in that is the market, right? So the market shift, but some of the things that aren't being talked about, new household formations. When just again, the empirical data of supply and demand says there are going to be more people. There are more people born,
right?
And there's
Millennials are coming.
More even delayed, what are called household formations, meaning a non-transient or the 26-year-old that still lives with their parents isn't going to live with their parent anymore. They're going to buy a house and form a new household, or become a renter and form a new household. Unfortunately, we are not keeping up with building in those environments.
Yeah. No, it's been what, 10 or 12 years of a massive building shortage at least.
Huge building shortage.
Yeah.
And even the building shortage isn't being built. I mean, the buildings that are happening are even rentals, and or they're in the luxury environment, which is reasonable for the builder. Why would you not? If it's going to cost you about the same amount to build a $700,000 house versus a $1.2 million house,
right?
I'm taking that profit, baby, and going home.
Oh yeah. Well, down in City Heights, North Pike Park boundary, all you got to do is move over a couple of blocks, and the difference is beyond measurable. It's so obvious. Yeah.
So we can shove fiscal or governmental policy and affordable housing and all this stuff down the builder's throats, but it's not going to work until you ease up regulations and you allow the real supply and demand to equalize naturally. I'm all about having a safety net. I think that's very important for us in the United States of America to have a safety net for people and to protect marginalized classes. Like we don't need to get in the political environment and talk about that, but I really think that if we ease some stuff up and just didn't make it as such a burden to build in some places, that we would see a different.
I feel like we could do something about this. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what that's going to take. I think that the pressure is coming though, and it certainly feels like with everything building up on the West Coast and the military shifting their focus, we're going to see a lot of pressure to accompany the millennials and Gen Z.
Yep, those new household formations, absolutely, and making that plan and moving into a place that makes sense has to be done at the government level, has to be done by local business people, and it certainly has to be done at an individual level.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very, very important to just stay tuned, to not put your head in the sand, to listen to the things that Dan's saying and the guests that are coming onto this show, and making an opinion. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be right or even wrong. And I think that's a world that we get ourselves caught up into, where we have only a dualistic view of right or wrong.
Yeah.
Is different for a lot of people, but that you dig into your story, and I hope that includes getting part of the Southern California real estate purchase, own a piece of this country, and we'll fight the rest. We'll fight those other things, and those things can be fought that we just talked about, and the policies and the pieces are getting shifted. I mean, the SB 9 and 10 that came through are going to open up a lot of doors for building and for homes to be created. I really just hope we don't kind of go the other way as people try and find avenues and loopholes in those systems, that we approach those appropriately. And we say, why are they trying to find this loophole? Well, it could be for profit, and that's fair, but it also could be because they're trying to build what the demand wants. And there is just a shortage
Absolutely. Well, and yeah, those laws go far and wide past what people think. And, you know, the commercial properties that are, or regulations that are in there for commercial properties, you can build almost as many units as you want, and those are going to have the appropriate water supplies, sewer, electrical already to them, in a lot of cases. So your costs are lower there. I mean, that's what torpedoed the last one I was looking at in Serra Mesa, there on Murray Ridge, when the cost for the sewer, water, and electrical upgrade put the budget $200,000 over, and I couldn't make it up, so I had to drop out.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to see what folks do as they start to understand what's going there, and especially because a lot of the commercial properties aren't being used the same way anymore. It's the highest and best use.
Yep, absolutely. And again, this is being very in San Diego. We're seeing it happen exponentially because of the amount of people that are going here. I mean, in California, people can talk about people moving out all day long. People are moving here faster than moving out.
Well, and check out the UCSD study on that debunks it completely.
Yeah, and the people moving in here, very good jobs. The biotech that's happening in Southern California,
it's huge.
Technology companies, the military PAC West coming to San Diego. Man, there's so much that really sets up a very diverse GDP in Southern California, specifically San Diego. So to the flyover states into Texas, and the people who want to live life with their blinders on, that's fine and appropriate. But I think that we have a huge opportunity to be a trendsetter in real estate, both for ourselves and for communities, right? To create community. But I think from a financial and wealth building standpoint, man, this is such an amazing opportunity.
Well, all the building that Patrick talked about on Tuesday at SDCIA's main meeting, every single time I hear his report, he's adding more and more hospitals and other support things, and areas where communities are being formed to come together. And it's one begets the other. It's just going to get more and more. We're going to get good density. We already have great jobs. We're going to get more of them and more places for people to live. It's just going to keep on compounding. I don't think that I can fully appreciate it at this point, to be honest. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we have the weather. We have, like, the other things. Two things we didn't mention that are huge in Southern California, specifically San Diego, are tourism and the universities. when you look at the three major universities that exist
Yep.
15 miles from each other, not only for the fact that there are people coming here and economy that's created, but the level of educated people that are coming out and staying in San Diego is going to push this market higher and higher and higher, and ideally be more efficient. I wish we could become the first city that autonomous cars. Like, let's go build it out in East County.
Oh yeah.
And just having an autonomous car lane that takes you everywhere. We don't need the trolley system. We need autonomous cars.
They're coming. I can't wait to see what they do. Urban development will just allow us to live anywhere. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. So this has been the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio with Jared Kelly. My name is Dan Reddig. We'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about, so join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Notes, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio. We're at 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, or 1050 AM on your dial. You can also find us at kcaaradio.com and on Roku. A lot of other shows out there with really great, straight to the point real estate information like this one. So getting back to our conversation, Jared, there's a lot going on, but maybe we can work through some numbers. Do you have an example?
Yeah, so let's play some live scenarios out.
Okay.
If you're just joining us now, so my background is kind of full service. I've been in real estate on the brokerage side, been a realtor at one point, and now I'm on the takeout financing side. So really looking at what is that last piece of financing you're going to get that's going to allow you to service the property. So the example I'm going to use could be for a single family house. This also could be for a duplex, and I think that's why I like to use this one as an example. Sitting around 800,000.
Okay.
So that, that services San Diego County, probably Riverside, San Bernardino, more of a duplex, triplex. there, and potentially duplex, more of a single family unit in San Diego. But let's assume that you're buying that today. Let's also assume that you're not putting a ton of money down because you want to keep cash in your pocket. So, and let's assume that we don't really care about interest rate. We're going to take a 6% rate.
Okay.
So I think that's a fair.
I think, yeah, for an investment property, you're going to be paying close to that.
Fair play, 6 to 7. There are some interesting arms and some other things that exist right now. So let's say year one, you're gonna buy this place and you're gonna house hack it a little bit. You're gonna live in one unit, rent out the other one, but your monthly payments is gonna be around 55 to 57, depending on tax and insurance a month, and that's a pretty big nut.
That's
the other unit, you're probably
That's a lot.
Let's say that you got those 2 other units. They're leased out. They're going for $4,000 to $5,000 a month on the other 2 units. If it's a single unit in Southern California, the entire thing is probably leasing for about $4,300 a month. So it's fair to say that you have a loss, a net loss of $1,600 a month on paper, cash flow wise.
Okay.
But the big thing to think about is what other investment, what other opportunity costs, if you had to take $1,500 out of your pocket every single month, would you put that in today? I still think real estate's a great investment. I think that $1,500, what you have to realize is you're actually doing principal reduction as well. So you're
That's
really
significant.
taking
Yeah, that's
$1,500
significant.
deficit out of one pocket and sticking it into your other pocket. Not as liquid, a little harder to get at. But I think where the magic is, when you start to get to about year 5, you're going to be break even. So even if you had to move out of the house, we're now looking at about $5,500 a month in the rental increase. So rent increases will outpace appreciation increases, or even if there is a downturn, that will make rent increase more.
Right. Yeah. Higher pressure on someplace to live, right, when you can't own. Right.
100% higher. We're actually slated to have the highest increase in the United States of about 30%. So year over year from 2022 to 2023.
And incredible.
I'm using in these numbers in this kind of real scenario about a 5.5% increase in the rental market, and we are going to see up to 10% is the cap for the current person staying in. But assuming someone's moving out, you can actually have a higher increase in that. But then when you start to get to year 7, 8, 9, you're actually cash flowing this thing $1,500 to $2,000 a month, which is absolutely incredible. Because in the Midwest, if you were to buy that house, you're going to be stuck with a cash flow. Again, you're cash flowing it,
right?
But your net's really going to be around that $500, $600, $700 a month mark,
right? And it's not going to increase much. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, when you average that out over time, way better on cash flow. But here's the kicker: let's assume that $800,000 house does that normal appreciation that we talked about before, about 5.25%. Your net gain, if you were to sell that house in year 9, is $700,000 net gain from money that you put in. So on years 1 through 5, if you had to put in an extra $18,000 a year to get that gain, just call me up. I'll be a secondary investor with you. I'll take half the equity, and let's go. Right.
Find a way to solve the problem. Don't just say you can't do it.
Every single day you can solve the problem. So this real world example, I think it is important to look at that internal rate of return. Think about the time that you're going to be in your investment. Can you live in it? Are you going to live in it? And about even year 4 or 5, even if it's a negative cash flow to start out with, is when it's going to flip to break even conservatively, and double that year about 8. You're getting mailbox money. You're getting that crazy appreciation. It is the time.
You've been paying down the mortgage along the way.
Buy and sell. Yeah. That's not including interest rates will drop at some period. You're going to refinance that and even be in a better position. So
right.
Again, to just use this example,
cost segregation too on top of all of that. push the
Win-win-win.
cash flow.
Win-win-win. So
Yes.
people ask, when's the best time to buy? The best time to buy, in my opinion, is if you need to live in it now. But even more importantly, I think we have a big opportunity over the next 6 months, even right now, to get in with as little amount of cash possible. And I think that's the important thing that people aren't thinking about. You can get seller credits, you can do those things. A year from now, that's not going to happen.
Right. I see what you're getting at. Okay. Well, if people are looking to get into this game, if they want to work with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I have a big team. I do the strategy sessions. My team helps facilitate the loans. Best way to get a hold of me is just give me a call or a text. And my number is 619-349-9244. Again, 619-349-9244. Or you can shoot me an email at jared@homeloantech, JARED HOMELOANTECH.com.
Awesome.
I specialize in VA and investments. When I combine those together, that's my sweet spot. But I've flipped homes, I've done hard money, I've done all this stuff. So we do it all. Just those are the two things that we've chosen to really
That's
special.
great. Thanks, Jared. And thanks for being my guest today on Real Men on Real Estate. This has been an absolutely fascinating conversation. I thank you a lot. So we'll see you next time I see you. Have a good one.